Hello, I'm RPM Will, and welcome to the world of FRYSC. We are elated to have you as part of our team. We're excited to witness your work with families and students. In our world, an important element to serving families and students is training. So during our time together, myself and the Division of FRYSC training staff will serve as your guides through some of the main elements of FRYSC training. The professional development requirements for all FRYSC coordinators can be found in the Administrator's Guidebook in Section 7. All coordinators must attend at least one statewide training event. Events that qualify for this requirement are Victory Over Violence and Fall Institute. Regional meetings are different than regional trainings. Attendance at regional meetings are mandatory, and that's regardless how many training hours you have accumulated. Oftentimes, there is a training component to the meeting, and this time can count toward the 24 hours of professional development. Training approved for social work, CEUs, childcare hours, and district or school-sponsored training events are automatically approved for FRYSC training hours and do not need further approval in FRYSC counts. Online modules and webinars can be approved for up to 6 hours if a certificate of completion is offered. But if there's no certificate offered, you can still get up to 2 hours of credit. Now, these must be approved by the training specialist through FRYSC counts, which will be reviewed later in the tutorial portion of this video. Other non-FRYSC sponsored trainings also require approval for PD hours through FRYSC count. Professional development comes in many forms. We've all had those trainings that seem to drag on for what felt like hours, and on the other hand, we've experienced learning environments that were fun. So enjoyable, in fact, that you forgot that you were learning. At the Division of Family Resource and Youth Services Centers, we want training to be impactful to promote practices that are beneficial to families and students served by centers. While we stand by the trainings we provide, we also allow coordinators to seek opportunities that interest them and will enhance their abilities to collaborate with families and students at a high quality level. In just a moment, our project and training manager with the Division of Family Resource and Youth Services Center will provide you a quick tutorial on submitting a request in FRYSC counts. Before we jump into that tutorial, requests should be made at least 14 days prior to the training event. This allows sufficient time to review information. Now, without further delay, the voice you've all logged on today to hear, Miss Melissa Newton.
If you have a training event you would like to count toward the 24 required PD hours, log on to FRYSC Counts and go to the Training tab. Use the drop-down arrow to select Coordinator Training Request. This will take you to the page that displays requests in the system. Click on the Coordinator Request for Training button to launch the request page. Complete all the fields on the request page and click Save at the bottom. Once the request is saved, additional buttons will display at the bottom of the page. These are View Upload Documents and Submit to Training Coordinator. Upload an official agenda or other document that shows the topic, date, and start and end times. This is required. A request without an uploaded document will be returned for additional information and will slow the approval process. Once the request has been submitted, it will be reviewed for relevance and appropriate content. It can either be approved, rejected, or sent back for additional information. You will receive auto-generated emails when an action is taken by the training specialist. If the request is sent back for additional information, you will receive a separate email with a specific request. If approved, the training is assigned an approval code that is used in the tracking form.
It is best practice to search the approved training list prior to requesting approval. This prevents duplicates in the system. This list is also a good place to find information on training that you might be interested in attending. I'm sure Melissa has a video on how we can access this list. Our favorite Newton, take it away.
To access this list, click Approved Trainings List from the Training tab drop-down menu. A spreadsheet will download. This will often display at the bottom of your screen, and you will click that to open the spreadsheet. The approved training list will open in date order. This list shows all the approved training events for the entire state. Use the Find and Search feature to quickly locate a specific training. You can search by any value on the spreadsheet, including training title, approval code, location, or date.
The approved training list is your friend. Visit it when you need to find a training opportunity or need additional information for your PD tracking form. Now, once you've selected or completed a training, you're probably asking yourself, what's next? Do I purchase a bulk pack of document frames for these certificates or just toss them to the side? How does the division even track if I have my training hours? Beginning with the end in mind is always the best course of action. Best practice is to begin your PD tracking form as soon as the new year is available. This will allow you to enter training events as they occur and make the end of the year reporting much easier. Now, Ms. Newton, would you guide us through the process of setting up that PD tracking form in FRYSC Counts?
To add a PD tracking form for a training year, use the drop-down arrow on the Training tab and select PD Tracking Form. This will take you to the tracking form page that will display the forms from the previous year. You will only add one tracking form for each year. To add a PD tracking form, simply click on the Add PD button. Once you add the PD tracking form for the year, you do not have to click on the Add PD button again until next year. As you attend trainings, you will use the View Modify link to open the current year's tracking form and add the training information. Do not click on Add PD to enter individual trainings. This will result in duplicate PD tracking forms that will have to be deleted by the training specialist and may delay the process. As you attend training events, you will enter them on the PD tracking form for that training year. If you have an approval code, always enter that first and click on the search button. This saves you from having to manually enter information. Remember, you are required to attend at least one statewide conference. That is either Victory Over Violence or Fall Institute. These are pre-filled on the PD tracking form for ease of use. Do not put any other trainings in these top two boxes.
We have all fallen short a time or two. Without struggle or disappointment, we will miss out on all those well-known underdog stories. Sports movies like Rudy's to new classics like Cruella show how pitfalls can catapult others to the limelight. Hopefully, training will not serve as a shortcoming for you, but in the event that it does, here is what failure to meet the requirements means for those who do. If you don't have 24 hours and a statewide training logged by the end of the training year, you will receive a reminder email CC to your regional program manager. Now, these emails typically go out a week or two prior to the due date. This allows time for coordinators to add training events that they've completed to their PD tracking form. If the due date passes and the requirements are still not met, the district contact will be notified and a plan of correction will be requested.
It is not as challenging as it may seem to meet the training requirements. In previous years, over 99.6% of all coordinators met the training requirement. There are numerous training opportunities, and if you're having trouble getting 24 hours, reach out to your regional program manager or the training specialist. On average, over 1,500 hours are approved annually, and an average number of professional development reported completed by coordinators is a little over 30 hours per fiscal year.
If you have any questions or need clarification, feel free to put your questions and comments into the reflection activity for this tutorial. You can also email the training specialist at quentin.floyd@ky.gov. On behalf of the illustrious voice of Melissa Newton and myself, RPM Will, we hope to see you all in the in-person or virtual, whichever room in which your training takes place. And that will be your training video, and we are signing off. Good luck, FRYSC coordinators.